All right, major moves in Bitcoin and Ethereum. The whole market is moving. Can we trust this move? Do you think the SP 500 and stock market and crypto have bottomed? Look at this, right? What is causing this? By now, you already know what is causing this is the Federal Reserve speech, right? At Jackson Hole. Very, very impressive. But is this bounce real? Okay, first of all, Bitcoin, I'm recording this, is still, right, trying to get above its major resistance. I'm recording this on the 1 p.m. Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. Friday afternoon. So let's see how we close over the weekend to confirm, right? We need to close above 116K, 116.1 to be precise on Friday, and then hopefully close above for the weekend as well for us to have a shot upwards. But if you're looking at this chart, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what Pablo has been calling about all along. Altcoin season, right? 3.7% on Bitcoin, 13% run on Ethereum, 20% run on Arrow, RV 8%, Algo 7%, Bitcoin Cash 9%, right? Doge 11.5%, Arbitrum 15%, AVAX 10%, ENS 13%, Fartcoin 11%, right? All these like 10%, 11%, 14, 10%, 11, 12%, right? All of this is happening, and how could you not call this altcoin season, right? Altcoin season. Bitcoin struggling to even confirm above this key level, right? This bull bear level. Stay down below where short-term bearish, go above and where short-term to medium-term bullish, right? And look, what's going to decide all of this, as I said, is the stock market. It is the stock market. Okay, so basically, it's a surprise to see Dow Jones is actually leading the attack. The Dow Jones is up 2%, SP 500 only 1.5, NASDAQ only 1.6. But of course, okay, the Russell up 4% today. Russell making a new high. Russell is the small stocks, by the way. Russell is going to make a run here. So, by the way, what happened with Jackson Hole, the full Fed Powell speech? You've heard it all about it by now. I will quickly explain what's happening. Basically, the Federal Reserve Chairman caved. He caved to Donald Trump, and he said something that's not that obvious, but it is obvious to people who are observers like myself. What he used to say is that, we need inflation to be consistently below 2%. We need to target inflation, right? So it needs to stay like 3-5 months below 2%. So we're sure that over a period of time, it's staying under 2%. He did not mention that this time in his Jackson Hole speech. He basically just said, he hinted very strongly now, as soon as you hit 2% just once, that'll be enough. It doesn't matter if it rebounds to 2.3, 2.5% the next month. You hit 2%, that's our target. That's our goal. So it's much easier to achieve. It's kind of like saying, if you do 20 push-ups, if you can do 20 push-ups, you only need to do it once. You only need to hit it once, and yet, boom, you're done. You don't need to be able to do it every day for a week to prove that you can do this consistently. Okay, so basically the stock market is having this massive bounce. It is leading the way, and we just saw Bitcoin leading the way as well. Oh wow, look at this. Stock market also flirting. If it closes here, if it closes right here, 645.6 will be new all-time high close for SP 500. And by now, okay, NASDAQ slightly weaker, right? We don't want to see a pullback. We don't want to see a topping tail like this. We want this to hold. This is only 1 p.m. Friday. We've got another 3 hours of trading left. So have a look at Ethereum now. And today I'm going to talk about what's the hottest narrative in crypto right now. I'm going to use the charts to prove to you the hottest narrative, and one tiny coin. Once again, one of those coins, believe that is beneath 1 mil, beneath $500,000, right? Tiny coin. I'm going to talk about today. Do people remember Wire? Pablo talked about Wire, 717 Capital. It went for a 60x run. And, small coins like Pretty, right, went on major runs. So Ethereum, look at this. One candle is all it takes. How could you not call this altcoin season? One candle is all takes, it's made a new high. It's made a new local, it's made a new like 5-year high on one candle, right? ETH is ready to run, ready to lead with the altcoin season. Okay, what is that one narrative that and one coin, tiny little coin that Pablo is talking about, referring to? Before we answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo Jimenez use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show any ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are, right? That means basically the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, FBI, CIA, nobody can see you. So I've made this deal with them, trade with Pablo, right? And a weekly price, not monthly, but weekly price of $25,000, right? Just by trading. And basically, look at this. So weekly prizes, $2,000, $4,000, $8,000, $15,000, $25,000, either by trading volume, right, or by trading profit and loss. So even just by getting the top 60th, you get a prize, or top 10, you get a prize. Right, this happens on a weekly basis, but this is not even an exchange-wide competition. This is just the Pablo competition, just the people watching and clicking on Pablo's videos. Okay, so and remember, folks, this is for a limited time only. Finishes on September the 12th. And now, if you're watching this on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. But if you're watching this on another platform, such as this one, and just click on my profile page. And in my profile page, there's my link tree or a Stan link, right? And it should be the first deal that pops up. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. But remember, this deal is only on the Pablo Jimenez link. So one of the deals that I was talking about is this situation. Okay, yesterday, do you remember what I said in my video? Do folks remember what I said in my video yesterday? In my very immediate last video, I said we're going to get a breakthrough in Bio USDT. But even before that, even when we were here, I said, look, I think it's been a 3x right now. I said, look, Bio is about to break out. It's about to break out here, break out of the bottom basement, double top down here. And this is going to kickstart and DeSci season, decentralized science, right? Because Bio is like the second or third largest DeSci coin out there, and might be the largest DeSci coin out there now after this breakout. So once we break out here, basically look at this. We've got yesterday, it was here when I made the video. I said, look, I do think I made the first comment here to my Discord. Probably made a video on it as well. I can't remember, but definitely told my Discord DeSci season is coming. Yesterday I made this video here at 17 cents. I said we're gonna break out. First resistance 21, we've blown straight past that. Second resistance 30 cents, and it's not even we're not quite there yet. But as I said yesterday, this was the major resistance level. Once we break through these, like 30 cents, 37 cents are small resistance. So what does that have to do with the big or a tiny little coin that I'm talking about today? Well, the tiny little coin I'm talking about today is a DeSci narrative, because DeSci is heating up right now, and it is very much related to Bio. So basically, when Bio pops, because Bio is a platform for all these small decentralized science DeSci projects. So if Bio takes off, then which coins do you think will take off? Right? So of course, I'm going to talk about a small, like, people know me and know that I talk about DeSci quite a lot. DeSci had a pop, had a decent run, but then quickly faded because the Federal Reserve is still doing QT, quantitative tightening, and coins just have like a 3-week run and fall off. There hasn't been a proper real altcoin season for quite a while. So basically, what's a DeSci coin that's related to the Bio and related to decentralized science? Let me just quickly show you guys this, right? This is one of the biggest narratives in the world right now, even though it's not a big narrative right now in crypto. But I bet you Donald Trump would be happy, and the entire Western world, like European Union, England, UK, Australia, Canada, would be very happy to see this. What is the big narrative, world-shaking narrative I'm talking about? Other than AI right now, the biggest narrative I can think of right now is rare earth and renewable energy, new energy. So what's happening with rare earth? China tightens control over rare earth quota, right? China's export curbs, right, deepen rare earth divide. Anyways, so what is happening here is basically we all know that United States under Biden and under Trump choked China on semiconductors, chips. And what China is doing is basically fighting back and choking the West on rare earth. Rare earth are these minerals that everybody has. China has 30% of the world supply, but China processes, refines something like 90 to 98% of the world supply, especially in heavier rare earth. So what does this have to do with anything? Well, that means the Western world doesn't have much rare earth, right? They get 98% of their refined heavy rare earth from China. They get 80% of their lighter rare earth from China, right? If China says no, then basically the West crumbles in terms of its technology. I mean, this stuff is used in F-16, F-24, F-32 fighter planes. This is using nuclear submarines. This is literally using iPhones, in everything, right? So the coin today I'm going to talk about actually tries to solve this problem. So this is a DeSci coin called Valley Dell, but that's not the coin I'm talking about. The coin I'm talking about is Forge. Forge is one of the coins under Valley Dell. Valley Dell basically issues these NFTs. Remember those NFTs? They're called IP tokens. And IP is intellectual property. If you invent something like a drug for Alzheimer's, or if you invent a major drug, that's called an IP. If you invent the next AI large language model, that's called an IP. That makes a lot of money with royalties, right? And IP holders or NFT holders get maybe 1%, 0.1%, whatever it is, share of that entire IP. Imagine if you own 0.1% of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is major IP in the world right now, and imagine if you own 0.1% of that, right? So this is what they're doing right now is tokenization. They call it IP tokens, intellectual property, but being tokenized. And that's what Valley Dell does. But they do this for a number of coins. The coin that I'm interested in here is Forge. Forge is basically, look at this. What they are doing is something called Cardo Forge. For science fiction fans, you might have heard something called Kardashev. Kardashev is, I think, this Russian or Eastern European scientist, a sci-fi writer, who came up with this theory. And it basically says that we have 4 types of civilizations. Mostly we're only concerned with type 1 and type 2. This would sound very familiar if you read novels like the Trinity Problem, the Trinity Problem, the Tri-Body Problem, the Trinity Problem. Right, that's a Hugo Prize winning sci-fi novel. And we are not even a type 1 civilization right now. Type 1 civilization is a world that can use and store all of the energy of its planet. We can't even do that right now. Some estimate we are at 0.7 type 1 civilization, 1 being a full type 1. Type 2 is can use and store all energy of its host star. That means the sun. We obviously can't do that yet because we don't even, some countries aren't even into solar panels. Like Trump is saying, solar is a scam. EV is a scam. Climate change is a hoax. I'm not going to get into that debate. That's what Trump says, all right? Anyways, so China's powering ahead with solar, and US under Trump is not. Hey, you may not believe Pablo, but in like 3 or 5 years, you might believe Pablo, what Pablo is saying here today. So what's the coin we're talking about today? Oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored. Legally, I will say I'm legally not sponsored. These guys don't even know me. Not sponsored. So what they're trying to do is, in order to make all of this work, new energy work, you need a lot of lithium. Lithium is critical in EVs, electric vehicle batteries, right? And rare earth. This is why Trump wants to take over Greenland. Remember that? Trump wants to take over Greenland from a NATO ally, Denmark, because they control Greenland, and Greenland has a lot of rare earth mines there. So, what this project called Forge is trying to do is go to electronic waste, like, you know, when you throw out a computer, when you throw out an old iPhone, there are chips inside, and those chips usually have some rare earth in there that can be recycled. Because if China chokes the United States, which is doing right now, and the Western world and India and everybody with rare earth, then you need to find rare earth from these old semiconductor chips and just extract it from there, right? It's kind of like if you take necklaces and gold jewelry and rings and you melt it and you get gold from there. It's kind of the same deal, right? So what they're doing is they're currently working with Australia's National Science Agency, which is called CSIRO. That's pretty famous. Like, look it up, CSIRO, and they've had some pretty amazing world-leading inventions in the past 30 or 40 years, and they're developing something called biomining, sustainable process that uses microorganisms to extract and recover these valuable metals such as lithium and rare earth from electronic waste. Sounds pretty cool. Using microorganisms, live living things that are tiny, to recover, you know, and extract these e-waste, right? And so Valley Forge is talking about them. And here is Valley Forge. And so right now, it's still at only 450K. 450K. I've just gotten in like about an hour ago, so I'm making these videos to tell you guys. I'll tell, you know, the diamond section of my VIP first, as I always do. And I do think, so a couple of things. So as I've been saying lately, one, I do think blow off top is happening. It's the perfect storm, right? Fed lowering rates, Fed about to end QT. Two, I think of the big narratives running, DeSci is one of them. I also spoke about prediction markets the other day. Nobody's talking about prediction markets. Nobody's talking about DeSci just yet, right? Those are Pablo original calls, only from Pablo. Most people are talking about RWA, real world assets, AI. Okay, thank you very much. Everyone knows that, right? Tokenization, yeah, everyone knows that already. But these are original Pablo calls that are under the radar right now. You're probably in the top 1% if you know what's happening with decentralized science, and also with the narrative I spoke about last couple of days. So and because bio is taking off, therefore coins that are associated with bio will take off. This Forge, Forge, is actually directly related to, well, they talk to bio all the time. They are getting interviewed by bio all the time, and their founders and bio founders talk all the time. Like if you just search on Twitter, on the internet, you will be able to see that. So I do think this is a coin with a lot of potential. Again, what attracts me is this very tiny value of under $500,000. They might even have some news from, CSIRO, which is the Australian National Science Academy researcher, coming soon. Imagine if they have a breakthrough. If they actually have a breakthrough and owning just a small piece of that would be huge. Yeah. But anyways, like that's just me. I bought a small amount, very risky because it's small, but it's DeSci. I do think that the blow off top is happening, as I've always said. I do think we're already in altcoin season. Been calling for it for 3 months now. And DeSci is one of those narratives, even though nobody's calling for it. Pablo's calling for it, and bio is running. And what's a coin very much related to bio? This coin right here, Forge. Okay, thank you for your time, guys. I will catch you next episode.